Hi everyone, welcome to this session of my QuickBooks training. We are going to look into how to make use of multiple currencies on QuickBooks desktop. Okay, so QuickBooks desktop has a feature that allows you to enable multiple currency and carry out transactions in multiple currency. Sometimes as a business, you sell locally and you receive local currency. Okay, and most of the time you see sometimes you sell to abroad, outside your country, and most of those countries don't use your currency, so you have to be paid in their currency. This is the reason why you have to enable multiple currency and make use of multiple currency in your accounting process. Okay, for instance, freelancers, for instance, a very good example of that. And if you buy from abroad, let's say you pay for what you bought, you pay for services received and product received with another currency apart from your home currency, you have to enable multiple currencies. Or you receive payment from your client or customer apart from your home currency, then you have to go ahead and enable this feature so that you can. But there is a big but. In trying to enable this feature, there are some other features that you have to forego. Okay, so let's start. How do we do that? Let's see from here, multiple currencies in QuickBooks. So how to record transactions that involve more than one currency, which is your home currency. Okay, the next one there is the step. So first of all, have to enable the multiple currencies in QuickBooks. Okay, so let's go ahead and enable multiple currencies in QuickBooks. So the first step is to go to edit, then you click on preferences. Okay, now you can see some tabs here, so you are going to select on multiple currency. Now we have my preferences and company preferences, so this is where you are going to see the option. So now, do you track multiple currency in the company file? Yes, so I'm going to hit on yes. Now this is a big but, so now please take note, you have to turn off. Once you've turned on multiple currency, you can't turn it off. It's a one go thing. Okay, so in case you later find out that you might not want to risk it, the best thing to do is option 2. Why not make backup your company file, then you enable multiple currency on the new file you are working with. So once you enable the multiple currency and you work and you see that at the end of the day the features you're actually looking for might not be achieved, or what the reason why you want to do these things, like what you'll be foregoing, you actually need them. So in that case, you can fall back to the backup that you had. Then another option here is you can't make use of insight. This is an insight here. Insight allows you to view. I'm going to show us what insight is, but it allows us to see in total the income, expenses, like a graph kind of a snapshot of everything about the company, the financials of the company and the like. So you can't see that if you have multiple currency enabled. You can't track your income, you can't track your bill. These are track income tracker and bill tracker. You can create batch invoices. If you go to customer here, there's an option now for batch invoices, but once you enable this, you can't. Batch invoice is you have like 10 invoices. You want to send an invoice to 10 customers. You want to send to 10 customers. You want to just give them one invoice. You can't do that if you enable, and you can't batch delete or void transactions in batch. Yeah, then you won't be able to select customers if you are making use of time. So you can't select customers in your invoices for time and even expense window. Okay, Now you won't be able to exchange information with QuickBooks Mark and online payment. Now if you are planning on doing online payment with your QuickBooks desktop, it's important you don't enable this feature. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on yes. Now I want to select, you see here is US dollar. I'm going to make use of Nigerian Naira. So once you do this, you click on view. I think you see you have like 4 here. So click on view more currencies. Then I will head on to N. Nigerian Naira should be somewhere here. Okay, this is it. Now again, do you want to use it once or make it active? I want to make it active, so make sure it's on active. Now another information, another setback. You can't, if you are planning on making use of Intuit payroll or bank feed, it's only available for USD home currency. Then once selected, these settings cannot be changed. So good, fine, I have a backup. Yeah, okay. But if you know you are done and you think the multiple currency will be fine for you, fine, you don't need to fall back to your backup again. So yes, so it's going to close up. So that is it, we've enabled multiple currencies in QuickBooks. So click on OK. So it's going to close all the file, then it comes back again. Okay, now the next step here is to create bank. So let me just highlight these. Let me use green. Green. Okay, that is that. Okay, now the next option here is to create bank account in multiple currency. Okay, now it's very, very important for you to do that, because if you are here in Nigeria, it means you have a Nigerian bank account, of course, and this bank account only transacts in Naira. So what if you want to receive payment from abroad? You want to receive payment from your customers or clients from abroad that are using different currency, or you want to also make payment to your suppliers or vendors that are abroad that also make use of multiple currency. It will be better for you to have these multiple or this foreign account. Yeah, okay. So the options that are available here in Nigeria, you can actually go to your commercial bank. Is it First Bank? Is it FCMB? Is it Zenith? Is it UBA? Is it GT? Yeah, you can mean, is it Access or Diamond? Access Diamond. Okay, you can meet them and fill a form to create a dollar account or euro account or Britain pounds account. Why? These are the 3 major currency that moves around with transactions. You understand? So if you have a Nigerian account, you should also have a foreign account where you can receive payments for services you've rendered or product you rendered, or where you can also make payments for services you received or product you received. Okay, so now the next option is to create bank account. Okay, so I'm gonna head on to that and let's go ahead. Okay, now since you have this account, you see it will be very, very easy for you to transact in multiple currencies. So the basic major ones are these 3: the USD. So you can go to your bank. I want to create a dollar account, I want to create a pound account. You have to create them separately. You don't have an account that will accommodate the 3. Okay, so this way it will be easier for you. Or if you want to make use of other options, PayPal would have been easy, but due to one thing or the other, due to international policies and the likes, then I think there are other options like Payoneer. There are other options like GeekPay or Gray and stuff, depending on whichever one you think you want to. But the bottom line is you need a foreign currency account. Okay, so how do we go? Now we have to go to chart of accounts. Yeah, so chart of account is where is the home of accounts. What type of account do you want to handle? Is it assets? Is it liability? Is it expenses? Is it income? Is it equity? You can go now we want to actually create bank. So QuickBooks bank, we know, is an asset, and we have to go to QuickBooks to enable this to create this bank account. Okay, now you can come to list here, Control A, see, Control A, or chart of account, or just click on that. You can also come to company and chart of account, or you just come to this place and click on chart of account. Now you can see we have vendor, customer, employee, company, and banking section. Okay, click on chart of account. Now here we are here in chart of account. So this is where we are going to create. You can see we have our account type, fixed asset, other current liability. Just that QuickBooks breaks them down more further than it usually is. You understand? Okay. Now we can click on this drop down here. Control N from your keyboard. Just press Control N. Click on Control N, or you click on this, or you right click here anywhere and anywhere in this and click on that. Okay. So I want to create a new account, but what kind of account do I want to create? Now I have bank. See, bank here now can be used for your multiple currency, or for your foreign currency account or your local currency account. Okay, and if you also operate on impressed, petty cash, checking, savings, whichever platform you think you use to save your money or keep the money you receive from the sales you've made, this is the option you are to select. Okay, so let's go continue. So I'm going to make use of one bank. Now, so in case you selected the wrong account type, you can also still click on this and select it again. Okay, so I'm going to make use of FCMB. Okay, First City Monumental Bank. Okay, and I want to I think we just need one account, or for the foreign account, but let me just create two. So we have Nigerian account. Okay, I can enter a description, account number, routing number. For this is a Nigerian account, so you don't need routing number. You are still here in Nigeria, so it will be easy for them to save, send money for you, payment for you within Nigeria. Okay, I'll go ahead and hit save and new. Save and new. We save this record, and still leave me in. We still have the option to create another one. Okay, okay, one thing I forgot to do, so I'll just use this FCMB. Then I can name it dollar. I'll just leave it that way, then select this option here and select US dollar. Okay, now you can input the bank account number, then the routing number, just to have the information here. You understand? Okay, so let me go ahead and hit save and close this time around, because I'm done saving. Oh yeah, you already have, QuickBooks will now allow you to have one same name. Let me show you again. This name is already in use, please use another name. Okay, so that was why I wanted to. You can use the last number, the account number, or just put dollar as it is dollar. Okay, save and close. Now QuickBooks bank feed will work only with accounts that use US currency. See, so if you also have account in other currency at your financial institution, make sure you select the US currency account before you can make use of bank feed. They're just trying to give you, market that information to you. Oh no, I don't want that. Okay, now for this, let me just edit. So you can right click and edit. Yeah, okay, so let me now put Naira, so at least it should be uniform. Okay, so go ahead and save and close. Now we have dollar account and Naira account. Fine, we've done the step 2. Now the next step is okay, let me color this. Now the next step is to create vendor in multiple currency. Of course, in QuickBooks, if you want to carry out a dollar transaction, it has to go to the dollar vendor. If you want to carry out a Naira transaction, it should also go to the Naira vendor. And if you have a client that has both dollar account and Naira account, then you create the 2 accounts for that same client. Good. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, now the next step is to create a vendor. So look at here, we have vendor. We'll go to vendor center before we can create vendor. Okay, so click on new vendor. I'm going to click on new vendor. Now let me use Nehimat. Hussein. Okay, I just need that. Then the company name is next. I hope I got it right this time. Next chain. Okay. Next chain. Okay. Now Naima has a Naira account and also has a dollar account. So the purpose of this record, of this training, is for the dollar account. Okay, fine. But let me still show us that we can actually create Naima for Naira account and also dollar account. So I'm gonna save that. Just that the name have to also change. You can't have one name. Okay, so NGN, you can just use NGN, right? Okay, then I'll go ahead again and new vendor. Then I still use Neymat Husseini. Okay, now this time around I use US dollar for Neymat Husseini. Okay, now still the next chain company. Okay, next chain. Okay, okay, now we successfully done, we are done with that. Oh, I did not use the dollar. Okay, so USD, yeah. Okay. Oh, now we have that available, right? Okay, now the next step is to also create customer. So we're going to make use of the same approach, so it's not going to take our time. Now, you know, we have vendor here, we have customer, so we have to click on customer to customer center. Okay, so we have to create that. So select this again, then next, add customer. Okay, now I'm gonna add for Nigeria Bank and Naira and USD also. So here, let me use Yakubu Abdurrahman. Okay, Yakubu Abdurrahman. That is Yaksin. Okay, Naira account. So I'm gonna my bad again. I have to include that. Let me just do that so that it doesn't have any unique, but NGN. Okay. So now again, new. Then remember multiple currency. We say we want to create. Okay. So Yakubu Abdurrahman. Okay, now Yaksin. Okay, now we select US dollar. Okay, so click on OK. Now we have done, we are done with that third, the fourth one. Okay, so we have our customer in multiple currency. Now we have to create an item. Yes, now what are we into? What do we deal in? What are we dealing in? Okay, so how do you do that in QuickBooks? If you want to create services and products that you sell and buy, you go to list and item list. Okay, now you can see everything here is empty. You can also click on this again, just like in our chart of account. Control N on new, or right click and new. Now what do we want to do? So let's say something. Okay, a service. A service. So what service do we want to offer now? Or let's just say a non-inventory part. Okay, let me see if I have another option. Okay, let me just use non-inventory parts. What can I use for that? Or let me just use services. Okay, so now in the service section, so I'm going to input the name. So let's say training. Okay, I do training. Or I can can just put QuickBooks desktop training. Okay. It's a service, right? Okay, let me use an amount, or it can vary and I can still change it, so it's not a fixed something. Okay, so let me just use 50,000. Then I'll select the income account. Here we have 3 income accounts: sales, shipping and delivery, and categorized income. Yeah, from our chart of account I was supposed to create one. Yeah, so but we can still create one here. So I just want to show us the different approach you can use to create an account in chart of account, should in case we don't have to go back to chart of account. So we'll click on add new to take us directly to that page. Okay, so can use it as service income. Yeah, okay, so save and close, right? And the service income, I still have to do something now. So since it is a service income, I need to create, since it is QuickBooks, so QuickBooks desktop training. Yeah, then a sub account, yeah, of services income. So I might have different kind of services that I offer, so this is one of them. Yeah, so I think it's better this way to have it as a sub account of service income. Okay, now I've created an item, and this is what we are going to make use of. So that is that. Now we are the step 1, we're done with this here. So the next step is to go to the step 2. Now we want to enter transaction. So first of all, I want to create a bill, but this time around we are going to use just USD. Yeah, just USD, so that since it is multiple currency we want to deal in, right? Okay, so the first option is to create a bill. So let's go ahead. Now we've set everything up. So go home, you can enter a bill from here, enter bill, or click on vendor and enter bill. Any of the two takes you to the same place. So I'm going to enter bill. Now you are entering bill because you are not paying instantly. You are making your purchases on credit. That is why we are entering bill, so that we are informing QuickBooks that we are not paying for this transaction, we are going to pay later. Okay, now okay, so I'm going to select the vendor, but this time around USD, right? USD. Now there is no exchange rate saved for this currency. Normally if I'm connected to the internet, so there's a way it will automatically, if I'm connected to the internet, it will take today's exchange rate, but still you can change it. It depends on the agreements you entered between you and the supplier, right? So sometimes they can give you discount, and sometimes you overcharge them above whatever. It depends whichever agreement you guys entered. Okay, it's fine. Here then let me use let me say exchange rate from $1 will give us, let's just say 850. So 850, yeah, so $1 is 850 naira. Okay, so now the bill that I want to, or if you want to do this way, yeah, that is it. So now let's say the price for this is $100. Yeah, for this you receive a QuickBooks training. So I'm just using for training purposes. So now you can see, because I use 850 here, it means in my Nigeria account I'm going to pay 85,000. Now remember, I have USD account and Nigerian account, right? This 85,000 is what is going to be showing in my report. That is one thing with multiple currency. No matter how many currencies you make use of or you transact in multiple currency, will in your report in QuickBooks, it will only reflect as naira, as your home currency. So that is why, that is the most interesting thing about this software. So now I will show you after I do that. So now let me say we only have one not expenses, right? So I want to create a bill. Yeah, a bill can be expenses, of course. A bill can be expenses. So this option I have here, paying creating a bill and creating expenses can be the same option, right? Okay. So let me say, since we are the one training on QuickBook, so it should not be right for us to also receive training on QuickBook. So I will select that, and then remember I have expense account, tab, and items. So here we only have QuickBook training, but I'm not going to select this because we're not receiving training from anybody. We are the one that is offering training, right? So let me just go for expenses. So I'm doing two things at a time. I'm creating an expenses or bill. So it's an expenses and it's a bill, which of the two you think you want to make. So now let's say it's for travel expenses, right? Okay. Now you see here it's showing as 100 US dollar, right? So you can input the memo. This payment is for or you can just say payment for travel expenses. Okay, for travel. This is very very important because it will help you to see the narration, right? Sometimes you just need the narration. Okay, so I'll copy that and paste here. Okay, good. Now the terms, this is the bill due date. I want it to be okay, since it is a bill, so the due date is, let's just say 15 days. Yeah, okay. Now the bill number will be here if you have. So now that is that. So we are going to save this. Yeah, so save and close. So this is the rate and the, okay, save and close. So let me show you on the reports. You've changed the time, yeah, fine, blah blah blah. Okay, now let's go to reports, and from reports we'll go to company and financial. Then if you go to profit and loss, I doubt if you will see anything because we've not sold nothing. Oh, we incurred expenses, and expenses is a profit and loss item. Good. Okay, now you see it's showing here as 85,000. You see, it will reflect in your Naira account, your foreign currency. You see, so but when you double click on that, you will see that this transaction is still showing as 85 in your report. But once you go back to the initial transaction, the record, the source document, you see that it's 100 USD, which is fine. This way everything is fine, and at least we have one or two. Okay, so I have to, we've done that, we've created a bill and expense at the same time. So I'm going to select that bill and expense at the same time. So the next is to create an invoice. Okay, so let's go ahead and create invoice. So how do you go that? You can still go home and create an invoice from here, or customer and invoice, or control I. Okay, now from here we are going to select the Abdurrahman dollar account. Yeah, that is that. Okay, so now the same everything. So now is our customer. We are offering this service to the customer. Okay, so QuickBook training services, right? Okay, good. So now we have, this is US dollar. The rate is down here, right? So okay, now the cost of the service. So let's say we are charging him for around let's say the cost price should be around sorry, the selling price, of course. Yeah, so we are charging him $250. 250. So let me use 250. Okay, yeah, changing, yeah, no problem. So now I'm using the dollar amount here. You see, it's USD, so 250. Now the exchange rate might have changed. So I might just say okay, it's now 8:30. So you see everything will change. It has changed, so from 212 to 207. So but the bottom line is you should use the correct exchange rate. The correct exchange rate, right? So that it will reflect in your report in error. Okay, so now I can go ahead and save and close. Then I also show us the report. Yeah, okay, I've changed the exchange rate. Fine, yeah, it's fine. Okay, so let's go to profit and loss. So let's refresh that. Profit and loss. Now you see it's showing as 207,500, and we've incurred expenses of 85,000. Right? Fine. You see now everything is going well. We have it here in naira value, right? But if you go to the transaction itself, it's showing in dollar. Good. Another thing I was supposed to check is the balance sheet. Okay, so let's go to balance sheet, and from balance sheet here we see that we are owing. Okay, there is a debt. There is a debtor. This person is owing us 207,000, and we are owing someone 85,000. Whichever, we have an income of. Remember, we are using Accra basis. You see, cash have not actually exchanged hand, but we are using Accra basis. That's why we are still seeing this information. But if I select on cash here, you will see nothing. You are seeing nothing because there is no movement of cash. Okay, fine. So it's okay like that. Okay, so now the next item here is to receive payment. Okay, so we're going to receive payment for the services that we rendered. Okay, so how do you go about it? You can still go back home. You can see the trail. If you create an invoice, you receive payment. Now before I receive payment, I want to edit something. So go to preferences. I want us to go to payments. QuickBooks only use undeposited fund. So I don't want to. It's the bank. It's transferred to the bank directly. So I'm not keeping them in the office before taking to the bank, right? So I click on OK. So I'll uncheck that so that I will be able to select the. If you watch my previous video on subcontractor, you see that it actually went to undeposited fund. So I had to go and so I'm saving it. It will have to close everything before it will take effect. Okay, so home again. Now we are here fresh. Okay, now we want to receive payment, right? So we are creating invoice, we are receiving payments, or you go to customer here and receive payment. Okay, now we want to receive payment from Yakubu is the dollar. Okay, because he's paying us whichever, he's paying us from his Naira account or he's paying us from the dollar account. But there is one thing you should know: it's the dollar account that is owing us, not the Naira account. You can see there is nothing here in the Naira account because we did not transact with the Naira account, right? Then here we need to transact with the dollar account. Good. So now you see deposit to. Now I did not uncheck down deposit fund. It will just go directly to this fund. Okay, so I want it to go to. Now imagine I select Naira. I want you to see something here. Okay, I'll click on this. If you don't, so if you go to calculate the amount here. Okay, now okay, let me try something first. I will receive partly. So let me receive 200, right? Let me receive 200 first. Okay, so I'm receiving 200, then remaining 50. Then let me select the dollar account, then the rate. You understand? So the rate might be 8.35. So just make sure that you make use of the current exchange rate. You see now it is 167. So now QuickBooks will have this exchange loss currency. Is it loss and I think there's this standard loss and gain, currency loss and gain, or currency exchange loss and gain, something like that. Now you can see we are receiving the payment, but let's just go ahead. Let's go ahead. Now we've received here 167,000, right? Now if we were to use 830 at the rate for which we so 830, okay, let me go back. I want to see the initial, okay, receive payment again. Let's see the rate that was reflected there. So I'm going to select the dollar account. Okay, 830. Okay, so once I select this, so we're supposed to receive 207,500, right? So let's say it happened. Okay, let me just go ahead. This is a different, that will be on a different class entirely. Yeah, so that we don't. Okay, so but this time I want to receive 200. I want to test run something here. So 200, and we are selecting our dollar account that's receiving a payment, right? Remember, we are not receiving a payment to our Naira account because we cannot get a transfer or a payment, a bank transfer from outside country to your Naira account directly, except if it happens. But I don't think we have that option in our commercial bank. You understand? And even all those platforms that we want to make use of, I don't think they also make use of those options. You need to have a foreign currency account before you can receive foreign currency payment or make foreign currency payment. Good. So let me just use 250. I don't want to have anything left. So okay. Now 207,500, right? So I'm going to go ahead and save and close. So we've received payment to FCMB dollar account. Okay, now if I now go to my report again, then go to company and financial, then if you go to profit and loss, it will not change because it does have the same information that you have there before. So now let's go to balance sheet standard. Now from balance sheet standard, you see now that it is now in our FCMB dollar account, no longer in account receivable. Nobody is owing us again. We've received the amount in full. Yeah. Now in the case of the payment, we are still owing somebody. That's why it is shown as account payable, but a USD account. Okay, now let's go ahead and make this payment, right? So we've received payment, so I'll do that. Then the last but not the least, but the last, of course, so we want to pay the bill. Not the least because it is before the secret estimate, but we've done that already. Okay, so now we go to pay bill, right? Okay, go back home. Now the best way to do that, if you've entered a bill, the best way is to just go ahead and pay bill. That is just, you don't have to write check, because if you write check, it's the wrong way to do that. It might still direct you back to paying the bill. Yeah, so because if you want to pay the cost, the client or the vendor, it will ask you to use pay bill, or you can go to vendor here and pay bills, whichever option you want to select. Okay, so now we are going to select so this account payable is for Naira. Now QuickBooks we create two account payable, one in dollar and one in Naira, right? So you can see that of Naira, we are now, there's nobody, nothing. Okay, so but if you click on USD, you see now that there's an amount which is Neymar to send. Okay, now I'll click on that. That's the amount I want to pay, right? Which is 83,000 Naira. Now remember, Neymar, the transaction we have with Neymar is 850. Okay, I will do a lecture on exchange loss and profit later, but not this transaction. So let's use that same 850 for instance. I just want us to have a clear that. Then I will do a video on exchange loss and profits, right? Okay, now 850. Now it happens, you definitely need to have, it will happen one way or the other. You have exchange loss and exchange profits, depend on the exchange rate, as at when you are incurring the expenses or you are offering the service, and when you are receiving the payment or paying for the services. One way or the other, the exchange rate will change. Definitely it will change. So that is why I'm doing this. So but here I just want to show us the basic of that. Okay, then I will do a next video. And now you see it's showing FCMB Naira. You can't pay for FCMB Naira you are paying from your dollar account, of course. You are paying from a dollar account. Okay, so go ahead and pay selected bill. Selected bill. So pay selected bill. Yeah, I've changed the exchange rate. It's fine. So now I'm done with that. So let's go to our report to see what we have in our report. So balance sheet, we have now, you see it's no longer account payable. In fact, we just have no account payable, no account receivable. We just have the net income, which is 122,500. Fine. Then if you go to your profit and loss, you still have the same profit and loss. Okay. See, we still have as it is initially, but now if you click on cash, it will now show you everything same, because cash has actually exchanged hand. Right now, that is the end of the class, and that is how you should go ahead to enable multiple currency and carry out transactions on multiple currency. My next video is going to be on I'm just going to do a video on exchange loss and gain. Okay, so now hope you guys understand. If you have any question, drop on the comment section. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share, and in this way you'll get notified whenever I make new videos. So hope to see you guys in my next class, and have a wonderful day. Bye.